Howdy folks. Today is World Amateur Radio Day and we're taking a look at online testing, more and more people getting on board, taking a look at some of the new things that ARRL is offering for members, and just kind of talking ham radio for a minute. So let's check it out today on K5ATA, Ham Radio. Alright folks, as we get started, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit like, share the video with somebody else. It helps that YouTube algorithm help other hams find our content. We appreciate it. Now before we get started, a quick word about the YouTubers Hamfest coming up May 16th.
Bummed that Hamvention isn't happening this year?
Yeah, so are we.
Just like you, we were looking forward to seeing all the new radios.
Antennas,
ham radio toys,
seeing all the industry folks,
learning new skills, and
getting the latest information on our hobby.
We were also looking forward to seeing other creators.
And having a beer or two.
Or maybe a little crown.
Yeah, we were bummed.
But we came up with an idea.
We're getting together live.
But isolated.
And we want to bring you the latest,
the greatest,
and the largest virtual ham radio show ever attempted.
Ever.
Ever.
ever,
Ever.
ever.
ever!
On Saturday, May 16th, 2020.
Join all of us YouTubers
as we gather live on each of our channels.
And bring you everything new,
Cool.
And amazing in ham radio technology.
Join me.
Join me.
And me.
And
Some of these
guys.
All day Saturday
Along with
All of us.
for the YouTubers Hamfest.
We'll see you there, okay guys? Later.
Alright, like I said, today is April the 18th. It's World Amateur Radio Day. I did kind of look around a little bit, see if some folks were giving some discounts on products and stuff, ham radio stuff. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of discount stuff happening. You get a free sticker at the ARRL is the only thing I was able to find. So if you have heard about a discount coming around, drop it in the comments below. That way folks who are looking at this today, most of the time these deals, when they have them, are good for a few days. So, drop it in the comments below so that folks can find those deals and take advantage of them. Alright, so let's start out with online testing. A lot of people are under quarantine right now. They're doing some studying. They're anxious to get their ham radio license. Anytime we have some kind of major emergency or something like that, people kind of take an interest again in, getting their license and whatnot. That's a great thing. The problem is there aren't a lot of places to take a test because we can't gather in groups and whatnot. But a dedicated group of people have been working diligently to try to get online testing rolling, and it's actually rolling. There are several VECs that are actually doing it. GLARG out in Los Angeles is doing it. W5YI has got some teams doing it, and now the ARRL is getting on board with it. So they've just posted recently that they've got a few teams that have successfully administered tests using the ARRL VEC. So there are options out there. Moral of the story is keep studying and look for those options. You can go to hamstudy.org/sessions, I believe is one of the places you can go to. Check out the ARRL website to find out how to find an exam online for them. And you're going to have to do a little bit of homework to find them, but the options are there. So take advantage of that. Now, as far as, people who are saying, well, take it with this VEC, take it with this VEC, I'm not one of those people that believes, the VECs should be necessarily competing with each other. It's all about getting people into the hobby. So, anytime we can work together and try to get more people tested, especially in a time like this, do what you got to do and get it done. In fact, let me go ahead and we're going to take a look real quick and see what hamstudy.org/sessions. And you can see they've got several sessions here. I don't know, this one's postponed, but you can see they've got some sessions here. I don't know which ones are online. Some of them they look like they're actually in person. Here's one. April 26th. The GLARG VEC remote session requires registration in advance. See notes. So you click it. It's $5, man. I mean, you can't really argue with $5. You can see it says read before registering. Register for the exam session. You can register. You must get on our mailing list to give us your name, the pin, the date. If you don't get that day, just keep trying. Okay, there are a lot of people trying to do this right now, and let's get it done. The key is we want this to go as seamlessly as possible, with as few hiccups, because this is something we don't want to go away. We want this to, be around. There are a lot of people who are interested in getting their ham radio license who are 2 hours from the closest VE testing sessions. Those people probably aren't going to get their license. We get something like this where it's remote, and then we're going to just build the ranks of amateurs. So, folks, just get on the same boat and try to make this work. So, like I said, we're doing our best to accommodate as many as possible during this difficult time, and they are. These guys are working their tails off. Okay, ARRL. Licensing. Let's see if we can find where they've got it in here. Let's see what happens when we find an exam session. I don't know if they've got theirs listed on their website yet or not. Please verify with your VE that exam session is being held. So you'd have to verify with them. They did send an email update saying that they've had, maybe it's, there's that free sticker I was talking about. Get you a free bumper sticker. Here we go. Remotely administered amateur exam system showing promise. And when you go there, you see, Spalding County Amateur Radio Club in Georgia is among those that have come up with plans to remotely administer. They got ARRL approval for a video supervised session. The exam session took place this week, and another is set for next week, with many more in the pipeline. That means you're going to be able to start taking them with the ARRL too. People are already doing it. So, there are a lot of people out there that are like, oh, we don't need online testing. Well, times they are changing. So, this as far as I'm concerned, this helps build the ranks. As long as we can keep the integrity of the test intact, I have no problem with this. People take college courses online. My daughter's taking her AP classes and her tests this year online. So there's no reason we can't take an amateur radio test online. Okay, another thing I wanted to point out, since we're at the ARRL website, they have recently, as in within the last few days, made available to members all 4 of their publications. Now, most of us are familiar with, let me find it. When you scroll down on their website, hit magazines. Most of us are familiar with QST. And I would think that most of us are familiar with On the Air because it's their new publication that's just come out. Been a lot of talk about it. There are a couple of them that not as many people are familiar with. In fact, I had never read either of these two, QEX or the National Contest Journal, because that required extra money to get, basically. I've been a member off and on in the ARRL for 26 years, something like that, and I've always just gotten QST. I started reading On the Air when it rolled out because I teach middle school and I teach a couple sessions of ham radio classes to them. I've had 25 kids get their license this year. There's some good content in there for new hams. Okay, QEX, that's like an experimenter's journal, little projects and stuff like that, and the National Contest Journal. Okay, now all of these you can see a sample issue if you're not a member. So for now, I'm just going to click that. If you are a member, you can just read it anyway online. Okay, sample issue of QST. Okay, when you load up, what it does is it actually goes to a site called PageSuite. So if you're viewing this from someplace, like I tried to get it for my students at school, it took a little hoop jumping to get that through the web filter, because it doesn't actually come out of the ARRL website, it comes out of PageSuite. But you can click here and you can scroll through and see the magazines. These work on tablets too. Got it on my iPad. You can see it's just like a magazine. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. stuff like that. Let's see how to get back to you. Close that. On the Air. This is their sample edition of On the Air. Like I said, this is a great magazine for newer hams. It's got some projects in here you can use, stuff like that. But the two that I am really excited about, stuff I hadn't read before, are QEX. And we'll look at the sample issue. I'm only using the sample issues today because, well, they're free online. I don't want anybody to say I'm showing you stuff that you're not supposed to see because you have to pay for it. Okay, and you can see, you know, there's the Nano VNA. Got a little write-up about that. You know, this is definitely more in-depth than a lot of folks want to go, but this is the point. I mean, ham radio is all about experimenting. So, you know, once you get comfortable with some of the basics, start digging into some of these things. Not all of the stuff in here is going to be way over your head, and if you don't start with something, then you never start with anything, and that just kind of sucks. Okay, and then the contest journal. Now, I have never even seen the contesters journal. I'm not a huge contester, but I do every now and then get bit by the bug. Okay, and let's see, it's got write-ups about... Ooh, that's a serious little setup. So it looks like it's a journal. It's kind of basically tells you about, you know, how to contest. So, you know, your membership now, you get all 4 of these magazines. And like it says here, you can read these either online or you can read them on an iPad or whatever like that. They'll download. You can still get one of them mailed to you. I'm not sure if you can get all 4 of them mailed to you. Well, I imagine you could if you paid them. But I know that you can pick between QST and On the Air right now to get mailed to you. I have QST mailed to me, and I read On the Air online because it's a much smaller magazine. Okay. Field Day. Okay, Field Day is coming up in June. Not sure how that's going to work out. A lot of people have annual plans that they do for Field Day where they have, you know, huge groups of folks get together at the fire station, at the park, different places, and practice communications, eat some food, practice a little more, eat some more food. Obviously, that may not be the same this year because gathering and whatnot's not necessarily possible. It may be possible by June. A lot of people are trying to open up stuff like that right now, but I'm not sure that that's the wisest course of action health-wise. But a lot of people are already complaining, you know, well, Field Day is not going to happen. Why not? The entire point of Field Day is to practice communications in diverse and challenging situations. Seems to me this is a diverse and challenging situation. Okay, no, you don't necessarily get to go hang out with your buddies, barbecue, stay up all night, operating the radio, you know, in a room with like 8 folks in there in a small little room, all breathing on each other. Not sure how appealing that is anyway. But if you look at Field Day from the point of what it's supposed to be, this is what Field Day is supposed to be for. You're supposed to practice communicating when things aren't quite perfect. Okay, you still have power at your house. You want to run an emergency power station? Okay, run it off a generator, run it off your battery, and don't plug it in to the wall, you know. I mean, you can still practice. It's just, it's not quite as social. But that's why you pick up the microphone or the key. One more thing I wanted to cover. If you're one of these people that's stuck at the house right now with nothing to do, this is a good chance for you to actually start learning something new. Okay, my daughter and I, we started learning CW. We're doing that through the Long Island CW Club. A lot of people are like, I don't need a club to learn it. Okay, well, yeah, it costs, I think it's $30 for a year or something like that. Okay, and in fact, they're doing a kids class free. So if you have a son or daughter who might be interested in learning CW, okay, you need to contact them because they have a free kids class while kids are out of school. My daughter's taking it free. It's the same time every day. She's made a couple really good friends. One up in Wisconsin, one in New York. and they're taking their classes on Zoom, and then afterwards they're hanging out on Zoom and practicing. So it's a great opportunity. But if you're not a student and you're sitting at the house, you've always kind of wanted to learn CW, it's a great way to do it. You make some decent friends, you have an actual instructor, they do it all through Zoom, and basically you sit in a Zoom room with 15, 16, however many folks are in there, and the instructor does a great job of kind of catering each. It's not the whole lesson necessarily catered per person, but the interaction is. So like, for example, he'll make sure to send words that people that are brand new to the beginners course have all the letters for, and then he'll send some that are a little harder and tell those people that are brand new, hey, well, just pick up the letters you have. The interaction is great. You get to practice sending, so that's good because it's just as important to be able to send it as it is to receive. For example, I can send a whole lot better than I can receive, and the problem I have is I send faster, and then if I send too fast, I don't have that pacing right. Whoever it is that I make contact with is going to try to send that back to me just as fast, and then all of a sudden my brain melts and stuff starts leaking out of my ear, and that's not pretty. Okay, so anyway, find a way to learn something new. Head over to the Long Island CW Club and this little form. All it takes is just fill this out, and they got back to me the same evening and said, hey, thanks for contacting us. Here's how to do it. It's a great way to learn. You get that interaction, and the instructor I've been working with is Rob, and he's been a pleasure to work with for this. So even if Morse code's not your thing, CW is not your thing, find something to do during this time. Maybe get into some of the digital modes. Whatever it is, use the time now to grow. Alright, so that's it, folks. Y'all hit like, hit subscribe. Any questions or anything, comment below. Like I said, if you do know of any deals for World Amateur Radio Day, drop those down below. We appreciate it. If you decide you're going to learn something new, drop that as a comment too. I'd love to know what it is you're going to learn during this time. There are a lot of things out there that you just don't know, and so if you decide you're going to learn how to do Olivia. Okay, I've never used Olivia on digital modes. Drop that down there, because the advantage of that is somebody else who's reading those comments might look and say, hey, I hadn't thought about that. What is that? They look at it and they're like, oh, I might check that out. So, keep that interaction going. Keep sharing what you're learning and help other people learn. So, that's it. Y'all don't forget, May 16th, YouTubers Hamfest. Looking forward to seeing y'all there. Y'all take care, and we'll see you on the air. 7-3.